They didn't really feel that anything was going to change. They didn't even give me any type of direction. They were just like, it's common. This is happening in the world today. Just deal with it. And
nurse took me aside and, oh shit, I'm going to die. There's somebody else in this room who will not be so lucky.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the first podcast intro
Dun, da,
dun, da, 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 of our up and coming new show. It's called Disrupt and Discuss. I am E, and this
and
is
I am KayCee.
KayCee, and we are Disrupt and Discuss, or D&D, whichever one you want to do. This is our intro podcast, so we are going to give you guys a little bit of backstory about who we are, what we're doing, and how this came to be. So I'm going to let my girl KayCee head us off because she actually went to a boot camp to do this really well. I'm a follow.
Yeah, boot camp to do really well. Okay. Well, hello everyone. My name is KayCee. In the boot camp that E is referring to is season 17 of The Blocks coming soon. But even before that,
shameless plug.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Not. But how it all really came to be was I had my own business. And even before having my own business, I worked in healthcare for over 17 years. And I'm in Northern California. It's one of the biggest healthcare organizations that we all will probably know. I was there and honestly, I hated my job. I honestly hated my fucking job. And so one day I did what are you laughing at? I ain't the only one out there. And
No,
so I
you're not.
just the only one that might have said it. But yeah. What they're gonna do? Fire me? So at this point, I was doing my yearly health checks, mammograms, the whole 9 yards. No big deal. So then one day I got a call at my desk at work, and after I had gone and had my mammogram, it came back false positive. And so immediately I got a call and I needed to come back in the following day to get it retested. Well, you get a call like that at work, let me tell you, there's no more work is going to get done. At least not for
Correct.
me, it wasn't. Short story, even shorter, I went and had the test done and come to find out it was indeed a false positive. But again, as I've told a lot of people before, is that the nurse took me aside and and I guess to this day, it's been over 10 plus years, but she told me, I want you to go home and celebrate because there's somebody else in this room who will not be so lucky. It still gives me chills even when I even say that because it really made me get things into perspective. The reason why I talk about how I couldn't stand my job is that you do what you got to do. You got to keep the lights on. You got to feed your kids. You got to do all that kind of stuff to help feed yourself.
Right.
But it made me really think, okay, what is important? What do I really want to do? What do I do not want to do? And that was one of the things that, like I said, I despised it. Monday through Friday, you're sitting at a desk and you're in a cubicle. You're in a fucking cage is what you are. It just got on my nerves. My father had not too long ago passed away, not from breast cancer, but he had passed away. Having to deal with all of the stress with that. After that, my husband and I went and took a slight vacation and really to think about what I needed to do. Once the scare came with me having possibility of having breast cancer, that was like the final straw. It's fuck this shit. I'm out of here. So luckily I was putting money aside before I just took that leap and I quit and started my business and it was originally going to be it's called the Fitness Collective. That was the first one. Then here we go, what you call this happened. The pandemic started. So all these fitness videos and stuff I was going to do, that shut everything down. But in the meantime, I had taken herbalism classes. I wanted to be an herbalist and I wanted to really get back into the health and fitness of everything. So in doing so, I had a bunch of uh, concoctions that I had made took for myself and then was made for the family. And then from there, my family was like, "You really need to expand on this because all this stuff is all natural and you can take it and not worry about any adverse side effects, blah, blah, blah." So then what ended up happening, as one door closes, another one opens. So then that was the
Yep.
birth of MyHerba. So now I have MyHerba by the Fitness Collective. And so that is what my business is on the side. And part of what this podcast is, we're talking about nutrition. We're talking about a lot of different things, kind of nutrition adjacent, but they are nutrition nonetheless. It's just a little bit about me. Yeah.
I love it.
Nothing
I love it.
fancy.
She said nothing fancy, y'all, but you just heard her say she has a company called the Fitness Collective, and she has products that are up under that Fitness Collective called MyHerba.
Right, right.
You
Yeah,
know,
okay.
humble. I'm a humble brag for you. Okay, there we
Okay.
go.
Okay.
We love it, but like my sis KayCee, similar but not really similar. Mine happened a little bit. It happened in the pandemic. So if I let me go a little bit back, a little bit further. I have been doing YouTube since 2009, right? 2009, I started doing YouTube. I mean, a lot of videos back when YouTube was more of a, it was more of a collective uh, community. It was more accepting. It was more, everybody was starting out doing different things. And I myself was doing hair. I was doing natural hair. I was doing lace front wigs. I was doing my my weight loss journey. I was doing pretty well, but unfortunately, I was not working. I got the opportunity to go back to work, and when I went back to work, I left what I was doing on YouTube by the wayside. Moving forward, 10 years, 2019, 2020, things are booming. People that I seen prior to me when in 2009, they're now like big wigs doing their thing. They have their YouTube channels. They're like 500,000 subscribers, a million subscribers, some, and doing very well. And I felt, what? Did I miss that? Maybe. But
Mhm.
when 2020 hit, like KayCee said, the pandemic happened. With the pandemic, a lot of people got a wake up call. I myself, one of those people, got a wake up call where I was looking at things a lot differently. Everything shut down. We had to go home, and I'm back on. Let me make some YouTubes. So I get into making the YouTubes, making YouTube videos. Not only that, I also started looking at my health more, like KayCee. My health was because of the vid and all those wonderful things that came with the pandemic. I myself started looking at things like KayCee sea moss, how to make my own sea moss, how to make my own elderberry drinks and things of that nature for my family. So we were all trying to stay healthy. We were working out. We had the opportunity. Our gym actually did not shut down. Thank goodness. Thank God. We actually still got to go into, well, not into the gym. They moved everything outside, right? They moved everything outside by the pool. And we was still, it was a lot of people still coming in, working out, sweating it out, trying to stay healthy.
Yep, yep.
That just prompted the surge of me wanting to do things the right way. And then, like I said, I had a scare with regards to my health as well, my colon, and
You know,
going into
just
the
to
hospital.
stop in real quick, it's
Oh, yeah.
sad that we have to get scared to
Right.
do what's right. I mean, now
Right.
I'm seeing that this bond here. Oh, I got scared. I got scared. Oh, I love you. I'm sorry. Okay, continue on.
No, but it's true. It's true. I had that scare, and
Yeah.
it it changed some things in me. I started going plant based, and I remember KayCee. I said she's been plant based for years, so I was probing her while we were walking because we were still walking, doing the hikes in
Well,
the
I tried.
during the pandemic. We tried, right? We were doing the hike. We were hiking with a group outside, get fresh air, right? So I was probing her. She looked, it ain't for the faint of heart. You just try it, but it ain't for the faint of heart. It's a lifestyle change. I was
Yes.
like, I need a lifestyle change, obviously, because something ain't right. They talking
Right.
about going up my butt, my backside, and finding problems and cutting
Yeah.
on things possibly and giving me pills. And I was like, no, no.
Yeah.
So immediately plant based. I went immediately. And I'm not saying vegan, so don't come for me. I'm not a vegan, but I am plant-based. Okay. So the plant-based kicked in for me. And when I went back, they gave me a chance to change some things. They didn't really feel that anything was going to change. They didn't even give me any type of direction. They were just like, it's common. This is happening in the world today. Just deal with it. And I was like, that's not what you tell a person. Okay. So I went, changed, went plant based, came back for another colonoscopy like in 60 days. Had went, got on the table, and they were like miraculously surprised that my backside was clean. Okay. Backside was squeaky clean. They were
Yeah.
very shocked about it, but I wasn't, because I know what I had found out. I know what God was telling me. And then talking to KayCee when we were walking, doing the research. And then I just took that leap of faith, and water, fruits, vegetables, salads, legumes, all that stuff. It definitely changed it. And so with that, just doing that changed my life, changed the way I was looking at things. And then I started doing YouTube. So now I have It's Just ETV. You can see, or we're right there. Where are we right? There we go. It's Just ETV. So that's me on YouTube. That's me on all my social media. That's what I've been doing for a while now. I started chronologing myself with exercise, doing car chronicles. I also have a show called Tap In with myself and my other host, EK. And I just started going. And I told KayCee this before I even started. I was like, I want to try it again. And she was like, do it. And then she saw me actually doing it. And then she saw me growing, and she was doing her thing and I'm doing my thing. And we have like this cosmic, like, we are like
Synergy.
minded, right?
That's right. That's
We are
right.
like minded. And it's hard to find people who are like minded locally in your immediate vicinity. We're
Right.
both Bay
Right.
Area born and raised. Bay Area born and raised. And so that's right. Right. And so we got together, and she went to her boot camp, what she was telling you about.
The
And she came
Blocks,
back all
season 17.
season 17. Okay. Check it out. But we did that. She came back on fire, and she was like, I
Really?
got this
Yes.
idea. Let's meet. I want to tell you. I want to talk to you about it. She proposed doing a show. Yeah. I was like, I'm down. And I think she was really like shocked, like, you really want to do this right now?
I had the elevator pitch. I had the whole 9 yards.
I was like, you don't have to twist my arm right now. I am on fire for creation. I am on
Yes.
fire for being an entrepreneur. She's also inspired me to come up with my own product, but I'm still in the work. I'm still taking the class. She's inspired me in a whole lot of ways. That's how we came about with, we started meeting at this coffee shop, coming up with the concept, coming up with what we're going to talk about, which you're going to see, like she said, a whole bunch of health and wellness, just loving life and putting a little twist, our twist on health and wellness.
Exactly. You go back even further, back when we went to the same church.
Yeah.
And I only knew you by way of your husband, who was part of the security out front.
Yep.
My daughter and him would always just have banter. And
Yep.
then as time went on, I don't even know how I even met, to be quite honest. I really don't. I don't remember the initial meeting, but I would see you. Then
Right.
we stopped going to that church, and then I hadn't seen you for a long time. And we were talking about this the other day when we went to the same grocery store, and you go, hi,
Yep.
and you're packing your groceries. I'm like, hi. I'm thinking, who the fuck is this? I don't know. And I figured it was somebody from church, but I just don't remember. You had this other transformation in your life, which
Yes.
is why I
Yes.
did not recognize you.
Yes.
And then
I
it was like,
lost 150 pounds, 155 pounds.
and you're going to say hi like we knew each other and we're bagging groceries. Really?
No one knew me anymore except when I was standing next to my husband. They're like, oh, hey.
Yeah, see? See?
Yeah, that's me.
And,
yeah.
and you weren't by your husband then. So I really didn't know who the
Exactly.
fuck you were.
And then we ended up at we left that one church. They left before us. And then here we can, I don't know if it was months later, but we ended up at that church too. And then
Ye
we saw each other and each other's husbands,
Yep, yep, yep,
right? Then we just started, then we got into a small group, that hiking small group.
yep. Then we
And
started hiking.
that's how we really started just chatting with one another, hanging, talking, and doing that type of stuff. So that's how we came to be. That's how we came to be E and KayCee together.
Yeah, and really, it was a lot of those long because we would hike, like, what, 2 hours, 2, 3
2
hours?
hours. Yep.
And that's where a lot of the conversations came in, and you
Yep.
really get to know somebody when you're doing that. So,
When you sweating, running up hills.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this was, like, a few years. So we didn't just meet and go, "Hey, let's do this."
Exactly.
It was a few years.
It was a
And,
few years.
yeah,
And we both ended up in the same place. Like we have the same type of like backstory, which is so
scared
crazy because
straight. There you go.
literally. But that's how we came to be, you guys. That's how we came to be. My background is in HR normally, but I love this stuff. I love content creation. I love doing this, and I love health and wellness. The one thing that this pandemic gave me was a desire, a yearning for health and wellness. So, hey,
Yeah,
something good
yeah.
came out of it.
I think the pandemic has done that for a lot of people
Yeah.
because there were some that quit their jobs, some moved and they can still maintain their jobs,
Yep.
luckily, if that's what they so chose to do. But it really made people think, especially when you couldn't commute, when you had to stay home. And for those that didn't kill each other,
Right.
you either found out if a relationship worked or didn't work.
Right.
And we were all stuck in the house. And my husband's already bald, so it's not like he was pulling his hair out living with me. Yeah, exactly. So, what ca either maybe because the meat, it already fell out, I don't know.
Right. Right.
But it really made you think, "Okay, what alternatives can I do still to not even so much make money, but just to do something else besides get in your car, commute, come home, repeat," that whole thing.
Right.
And everybody there more I think more people were looking at a better quality of life, and what does that mean to you? So, I definitely when I left before the pandemic, but like I said, for me getting that scare and I know people have there's tons of cancer survivors, and I'm thankful that they have survived, but when I got the call from the doctor saying, "Come back in," first thing I thought was, "Oh god, Imma die."
Right.
I don't care what advances there are, how many pink ribbons I see. When you get that call about you, that's what I thought about. "Oh, shit, I'm gonna die." So then once I calm down, because 'cause I'm one of those people that I have to let things absorb, I have to think about it, then I can think logically. But right when I first heard that, again, no work was getting done. I went home. Fuck that shit. I went home. So
I
yeah, the
agree.
pandemic made a lot of people do a lot of introspective work for
Yeah, they
sure.
called it the what was it called? The Great Retirement or the Great
It was
I
something,
was
I
trying to
can't
look for it.
remember, but you're right.
Yeah, it was a lot of people because my company where I was working, we lost a lot of people who had been in the business for years, and they're like, "Hey, life's too short. People are passing away here. I'm gonna I'm gonna pack it up. I already got 15, 20 years. I'm just gonna retire." And they were retiring at the droves when it first started. They were like, I want to spend time with my family, spend time with my wife, go places that I've never seen before, do things that I've never done. And so it definitely woke a lot of people up with regards to doing things that they never thought that they wanted, they could do, or that they were going to get able to be able to do. They decided, I'm
Right.
going to do it. And then waking up to your health. Let me start walking. Let me start swimming. Let me start doing something. Let me start eating right. Let me start looking at natural ways of taking care of myself. So it definitely, for all the bad, there was a lot of good that came out of
For sure.
it. Absolutely. But yes, you guys, that's how we came to be. Like I said, we want to come on here and we're in no way, form, or fashion any type of professionals. We're not doctors, we're not nurses, we're not anything like that. We are just two ladies who have a personal story. We also have background in bringing some healing to ourselves with
Yeah.
regard to our bodies, learning some things, and we have some things to say in a different way. So
Right.
hopefully you enjoy the way we say things. We're not going to come on here, oh, you're not going to hear these big words with regards to what something is. It might be real simple. We're gonna have a podcast that is gonna be real simple. It's about
Oh,
food.
absolutely. And just like E had said, it's our perspective.
It's
It's
our
totally our perspective, and either you agree with it, you don't. But or as I'm seeing now on IG, it's purely entertainment purposes. So it could be a subject that you can pick up with somebody else, and they'll be like, "I always thought about that." Who
right.
knows?
Who knows? But if you like it, if you like what you hear, if you like the way we say it, definitely subscribe. Definitely share our content because we are going to be on here doing our thing and bringing it our way.
Oh,
Welcome,
absolutely.
welcome to Disrupt and Discuss. And this is our first video, our first podcast. I hope you enjoy. And we'll talk to you guys in the next one. All right.
Ah.
Bye.